Hi dear students, today we are going to study or discuss about a second lesson. There's Girl by the Tracks. There's Girl by the Tracks, written by Devan Khanal. Author is Devan Khanal. Let me explain this lesson. As Mumbai suburban electric train made its 22nd 6:32 p.m. halt at station. Mumbai suburban electric train. Mumbai suburban electric. Suburban means out of the city, outside the city, and it is halt at the station 20 seconds. How many seconds? Only 20 seconds. The train halt at the station 20 seconds when the time is 6:32 p.m. evening. At the evening 6:32 p.m. the train was halted only 20 seconds. What happened after? Commuters swarmed out into its 12 packed coaches. Commuters swarmed out. Commuter means passengers rushed, swarmed out. The 12 coach packed means 12 compartment train was packed with the commuters, filled with a crowd. And when the train is stopped, commuters get out of the train and commuters uh, rushed into the train. It's a regular scene around India's most populated metropolis. It's a regular scene. Which is regular scenes? See, trains come and halt at the station. Commuters swarm into the train. This is the regular scene. Number of commuters. Crowd is more there. They wanted to take they wanted to take a good place, a safety place in the train. That's why they wanted to rush into the train. They wanted to have a seat. That's why they rushed into the train. This is the regular scenes around in India. Most of the metropolis, more populated cities in India like Kolkata, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, like Delhi, like these cities. This is common scene because the passengers are more and more. Uh, Places very much little. That's why this is rush is very common. Having just managed to squeeze herself into a ladies' compartment, 21-year call center executive Roma Talraja tried to settle into the corner near the door. In that crowd, in the passenger, one of the young women, 21 years old woman, name was Roma Talraja. She wanted to go by the train. She squeezed into the train, means she stepped into the train. Roma Talraja tried to settle into a corner near the door. She was working in a call center girl as an executive girl, and she wanted to go by train, and she got up into the train. She wanted to stay at the door. She wanted to stay at the door. She wanted to stay safely at the door. But why did she wanted to stay at the door? Because there is no place went inside the train. The train was filled up the commuters. There is no place. That's why she stayed at the she stayed near the door. The train hurtled ahead and Roma jammed between other two men. The train started going. The train started going. Roma jammed between two women. This side one woman and this side woman. Roma was jammed between these two women. Was trying to find some space to stand safely, and when she suddenly got pushed, lost her tennis foothold and panicked. And she wanted to stand there, that place safely, but there is no safe place. That place was near the door. So what happened when she suddenly got pushed? She felt that something got pushed her. She lost her tennis foothold and panicked. She lost her tennis means she didn't get anything and she was become very weak. She lost her balance. She lost balance and she was panicked too much. Panicked. Panic means fear. She afraid too much. Her hands reached for the steel railing above. She wanted to hold something with her hand, but didn't. But finding only air. But finding only air means she didn't find anything. Her hands didn't reach anything. Find only air. Nothing. Find anything. Roma was thrown out of the coach. Roma was thrown out of the coach when she fell from the train. She fell out of the train. The clattering roar of the train muffled the thud of her fall onto the ground. More than a meter below, she was knocked senseless. The clattering roar of the train muffled the sound of her falling down. When she fell down, the sound was the train. The train sound was very more than she fall down. When she fall down, her sound has come, but her sound was become very silent into the in the sound of the train. The train sound was too much. In that too much sound, her falling sound didn't come out. Her falling sound become silent. This train sound makes silence her falling sound. She fell down more than meter below. More than meter below, she fell down. She was knocked senseless. She was knocked senseless. She fell down on the ground. She fell down at the track. What happened after? Standing near the door of the another train, speeding in the opposite direction, 20-year-old Baleshwar Misra couldn't believe that what had seen a young woman in the black salvo kameez laying next to the tracks. Opposite side, another train was coming. In that train, near the door, one of the young man, 20-year-old young man, Baleshwar Misra, who was standing near the door. He saw that scene. Which scene? The girl, Roma Talraja, was falling from the train. He saw, but he couldn't believe what had seen him, what he has seen. She was fall down. He couldn't believe what he had seen, what he had just seen. Why? What he didn't see? What did he see? The woman was fall down on the ground. A young woman in a black slava kameez. Black slava kameez. This is the name of her clothes which she wore. That's the cloth's name. Black kameez, black slava kameez, black color kind of thing she wore. Next to the tracks, she fall down next to the tracks. Means near the track, near the rail track, she fell down. A young woman, meanwhile, gasped and screams emanated from the compartment that's curved by the tracks. The voice cried out. After that time, the compartment, which compartment? The Baleshwar Misra standing that compartment. The crowd look at her. The people were shouting and making sound, gasping. Gasping means deep breath. They are very placely, worriedly shouting and gasping. There's girl by the track. There's girl by the track. There's girl by the tracks. All the people are starting shouting. There is girl by the track. There is girl by the track. Who are shouting? The people who are in the compartment of Baleshwar Misra. They were shouting. There is girl by the tracks. Impulsively, Baleshwar went and grabbed the train's red emergency chain and pulled it down frantically. Impulsively means without any thinking, suddenly he went and grabbed the red colored chain. He stopped the train. The train screeched slowly down. Then his servant compartment full of weary faces. Let's go, help her, he shouted. And when the train was stopped and he ran through the compartment, he surveyed through the compartment. He called the people to help her. Please come, let's go help her. Please, let's go help her. He asked everyone. He shouted, he asked, he shouted, he pleaded. But Nobody volunteered or to get involved after in being inconvenienced perhaps. But no one volunteered. No one person didn't come with him to help her. No one person didn't come to help that woman to save her life. His heart hammering chest, Baleshwar showed himself to the door and jumped off the still moving train. When any person didn't come, Baleshwar himself, alone, only one boy, jumped out of the train. Moving train, jumped out of the moving train. The train was going slowly. He jumped out of the train as landed the ground as a burst of pain shot his ankle. When he jumped out of the train, his legs little bit pain happened, wound happened to his legs, but he didn't think about that. He has only one target at this time. He wanted to save that girl. But there was no real damage. He got up and found part of his old rubber slippers, so torn up as a result of his fall down. His old rubber slipper, his slipper was become very old, so that's torn. But Baleshwar started spring back between the tracks as his train picked up speeding again disappeared. But Baleshwar, when he jumped out of the train, his ankle become wounded. That was little bit pain, but there is no real damage. He didn't think about that. Again, he started running towards the girl, running towards the girl. Find out part of the to sprint back between the tracks. To sprint back between the tracks means this side one rail track, this side one rail track. He was running towards the girl. He wanted to save her life. Baleshwar was so far away from Romatal Raja, he couldn't see her. I hope I'm not too late, he thought, gasping for breath. When he jumped out of the front, he was speeding at her, he was running at her, he was very far away from her. She was not looking at him, she was not seeing him because she was very far away. When she went near her, she saw him. When he went near her, he can see her. He couldn't see her. Hope I'm not too late, he thought, gasping for breath. He thought himself, he was thinking himself, he was murmuring himself that I'm not too late, I'm not too late, he was saying, and went near her. After running for several minutes, he found her sprawled by the side of the tracks. After running few minutes, he went near her. She was fall near the track. She was fall near the track. Behenji, aap theek hai? He asked. Sister, are you okay? He asked her. Sister, are you okay? Who asked? Baleshwar Mishra asked to Romatal Raja. But there was no response and no help in sight. But there is no response. She didn't get any reply. Even she didn't open her eye also. She didn't open her eyes also. This is the happen. They were alone somewhere between two stations 5 kilometers apart in Thane district which borders Mumbai. That place is looking like deserted area. There is no people, there is no homes. He surveyed, but there is no man find out. And that's the near of Mumbai, Thane district, 5 kilometers far away from the station. They were 5 kilometers far away from the station because that's why there is no one human being find out. There is no one person find out to help them. Baleshwar could see blood flowing out of her gas behind the young woman's head. Baleshwar Mishra saw that the woman's head was injured. In that wound, the blood was flowing down. Blood was coming from the head. There was pain. There was wound happened. Saying a silent prayer, he leaped the 5'2", 50-kilometer Roma gingerly and made his way across the tracks. He made a silent prayer. Silent prayer. What kind of prayer he made? He prayed to God to save this strange woman's life, to change my sister's life. He prayed to the God to save my sister's life, and he lifted her 50 kilo kg 50 kg, that weight she is. Roma was 50 kg weight, and he he lifted her and starting towards the main road. He was going towards the main road. If you find main road, someone can come and help them. That's why he was going towards the main road, looking out for trains but searching for way out. He was looking out for train. If any train come here, he wanted to take help from them. That's why he looking for the train, but no one train didn't come, and he was going to the main road. He wanted to search the main road, searching for way out, crossed the some shrubbery and followed the direction of the sound until he found the road. Cross the shrubbery means the shrubbery, the small plants. There was a little not good way, small path, and he was going to the small path, and he was going towards the sound where it come, towards where the sound come, that direction he was going, because he wanted to find a main way, shrubbery, and followed the direction of the sound until he found the road. Finally he found the main road. My sister is injured, he implored motorists who drove by. Please help her. Please help me to take her to the hospital. But no one stopped. Finally he reached the main road. He stood beside the main road to holding her, and he pleaded, he begged, he pleaded all the motorists who drove by there. Please help me to take my sister to hospital. She is injured. To take to hospital to her. Please help me. Please help. He implored. Implored means requested. He pleaded all the people who are drove by their vehicles on that way. Please help me to take my sister to hospital. She is critically injured. But no one stopped. No one man stopped his vehicle. That morning on December 10, 2010, on Friday, Roma Talraj arrived at the call center bright and early. That morning, on 10th December 2010, on Friday, she came to office bright at the morning, early morning. She came to office at that day. The become graduate from Pune had been working for 2 years, loving her job, talking and connecting with customers, and making new friends there. She was loving her job too much, and she was become graduated. She was working in that office as a executive call in a call center. She was loving her job, and she had a beautiful friends. She was loving her friends. She has good friends, and she has good contact with her customers. Totally, she was very good girl. After the work, she went to cafeteria where she and her friends joked, laughed, and made plans for the weekend. That day, when she completed her work, she came and she spent some time with her friends. All the friends went and took coffee. They joked, they laughed, they enjoyed, and also they made a plan for weekend, where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do on the weekend time. They made a plan with the friends, and then heading home alone after her shift. Then she heading home. Heading home means she was going to home after that evening. Roma was looking forward to having supper with her parents and brother and long phone chat with her friends Vijay. Soma made a plan. Roma made a plan. Roma was looking forward. Roma was looking forward means her plan that night. She wanted to go to home, and she enjoyed dinner with her brother and her parents. Supper means dinner. She wanted to take dinner with her friends and her parents and her brother. And then after, she wanted to long chat with her fiancé Vijay. Fiancé means would be her boyfriend. She wanted to call him and she wanted to talk with him after the dinner. With whom? Her boyfriend. And about the story of Mr. Baleshwar Misra. Baleshwar Misra has a very different story. His story is very different. The lanky youngster from Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh, is unemployed and high school dropout who would recently came to Mumbai. Baleshwar Misra, his story is very different. Lanky youngster from Mirzapur. He is from Mirzapur. Where is Mirzapur? In Uttar Pradesh. He came to Mirzapur from Uttar Pradesh. He was lanky and youngster, tall and thin. Lanky means tall and thin man, very young boy. And he came to Mumbai very recently. He was high school dropout and he stopped his education at the high school time. He high school dropout and his job who recently came to Mumbai living with his two elder brothers. Baleshwar Misra came to Mumbai because he wanted to get a job. He was unemployed. He wanted to get a job. His two elder brothers were living in Mumbai. So he joined with them. He was living with them and he was searching a job for him. After his job hunt had proved fruitless, now he was trending water. He searched a job for some time, but his job hunt was fruitless. Fruitless means he didn't get the job. He failed to get the job, and he was now trending water. He was now trending water means he failed to find out the job. He failed to find the job. So he failed to find the job and had resigned himself. The fact that he was running towards the options. He had spent his day with his friends, grabbed lunch and watched movies. He searched a job, he didn't find a job, and finally he joined with his friends. He spent some time with his friends. They all together went to hotel, took the meal, and then went to theater. They watched a movie. They enjoyed. After the night, after that time, at the evening, he was going to his home. That time, this incident has happened. He had spent his day with his friends, grabbed lunch, and watched movies. As Baleshwar boarded at train home, he pondered his future, but all he could now think of was saving a stranger life. Baleshwar Misra was pondered his future. Pond means love. He was loving his future. He wanted to get a job, but at this time there is no hope about that. He has only one target, that he wanted to save the stranger's life. He wanted to save the stranger's life. Whose life? Roma Talraja's life.